is the baseline for any motorsport career. And
for the third time this weekend, Christian Bratuka, they are struggling to get the kart going again, and that's the third time they've had this problem. So that is fascinating. But yeah, we're going to get the drivers off again, and still Christian Bratuka can't get the kart started.
What's happening there? Poor Christian Bratuka. Oh.
Whatever it is that's causing the problems, we see there up at the top end, Joel Mesh coming out onto the circuit. But look, there's Christian Bratuka for the third race this weekend. What is going on at Birula?
Yeah, talking about livery, actually, you might have seen on screen, actually, one of the cars over there has the Aston Martin colors on it. It's part of the Bendor group, obviously, having a partnership with McLaren as well. And I had a bit of a chat with those the drivers actually running that beautiful Aston Martin livery as, of course, a demonstration of the partnership within this team. So a beautiful British racing green livery for those cars. And unfortunately, Christian Bratuka once again won't be able to take part in this race. A disastrous weekend for the young Italian.
How is it that the same problem can reoccur 3 times? That is devastating for all the boys in red and white. So a big disaster there. Yuga Chukwu, look, he is not making much of an attempt to form the grid up either. So this is going to be a false start without any guarantee at all. And even the officials at the side of the road put their hands in the air as if to say, come on guys, what are you playing at? Do you think Yuga Chukwu, do you think he was waiting to see if Christian Bratuka could get back out on the track?
That's a nice gesture, that must be said, from the European Junior Champion. So let's have a look at the grid while they go for an extra lap. Hugo Chukwu will be starting from pole position with Arthur Ronjon by his side. From Tuka Tapanen, Timothée Skučáček, Juho Valtanen, Martinus Tenzon, Nikola Tsolov, Ivan Dominguez, Lorenz Lesotua, Rintaro Sato from James Wharton, Rasmus Uchimis, Christian Bratuka with us finally, and from Karol Paziewicz, Evan Gilter and Sandro Olzem.
Then we have Nicola Lacorte and Marius Christiansen, the nearly man yesterday. Alfio Spina on the Paralin, Eduardo Villa, Magnus Nerfqvist and Nathan Sharp from Lucas Malik, Frederick Listrup, Florian Russo-Rishi, Caspian Hagman, Ruben Wang, Arno Shabdar and Luca Inderfurth. So the drivers come through, and this time Christian Bratuka is able to take his position on the starting grid, is he? No, he's not, in fact. He's not able to, because he hasn't got his position from the red line, so he'll have to start from the back of the grid, but at least he can start with the rest of the pack. So Yuga Chukwu, Rojon, Tarpanen, Kucharczyk. Let's see who gets the best start. It's the inside line without any shadow of a doubt as Yuga Chukwu goes with Tarpanen and Valtanen. Tarpanen blasts at the inside of Yuga Chukwu, takes Valtanen and Tsolov with him. Yuga Chukwu wrestles with Tsolov to try and hold on to the position, but Tsolov takes it round the outside and gets up in a 3rd position. Not a great start for Yuga Chukwu, who drops to 4th place, but the Flying Finns are 1st and 2nd with the Apprentice ahead of the Sorcerer. Brilliant stuff. Tarpanen in front of Valtanen, and we've got great battles down to the hairpin, up the inside. That is Martini Stenchon trying to hang on, and they've just about got through turn 6 without incident. But my goodness me, it's going to be amazing when the 2 Finns come to blows.
Pretty clean start for everybody. Lorenzo Sartoada, we saw in a bit of a trouble, a contact on his way to turn number 6, but the young Belgian was able to keep it together. But the battle is on. Tuka Tapanen, Juho Valtanen and Tsolov in 3rd place. That beautiful Fernando Alonso tribute livery in 3rd, and watch out for the pace that he's going to be able to produce. 1 lap completed, just nothing between the 3 drivers up front, and there goes a change with Valtanen taking Tsolov with him for 2nd and 1st respectively. 2 positions drop for Tuka Tapanen in just 2 corners. It's all down to 0 once again for Tapanen, who is gonna need to do it all over again, and Tsolov seems to be on a very, very good form today, as well as for Tuka Tapanen, and naturally, of course, Juho Valtanen taking 1st position. He was behind our microphone, of course, you heard him earlier, with a fully and very busy program this year. It is on a charge. He has a lot of ambitions to achieve, of course, in both categories, starting with the direct drive class. That's master driving from and there he goes, taking 1st place again, and watch out for the fight back from Tapanen. He stays in 3rd, and Valtanen dropped to 2nd.
Nikola Tsolov takes the lead. Hola, Fernando, if you are watching, this is a very special moment for that colour scheme. 25 years ago, he won the title in Genk, and now his boy, Nikola Tsolov, is there. Here comes Tarpanen on the inside of Valtanen. Back in a 2nd position he goes. So Tarpanen in a P2, Valtanen in 3rd, Yuga Chukwu is 4th, and Martini Stenchon doing a great job, has fought his way up into 5th place now, and is chasing down the quartet. So Stenchon is coming very close to them. Look, here he is in the 134, Timothy Kucharczyk in the background, and Laurence Lesertua on home soil. Now in 7th position ahead of Rojon and Gilter, who has been passed by Karol Paziewicz. So Paziewicz up in the 9th position. Yuga Chukwu has caught back up to the leading trio though, and Yuga Chukwu wants revenge for turn one. He's going to have a look for the inside of Valtonen at the first possible opportunity, and this is going to be a relentless charge from the American.
Yeah, watch out, the last corner, can he actually make the move stick? It's a bit too short as Jo Valtonen is shutting all the doors on his way to the start finish straight. Lap 3 completed. Watching over his shoulders, Tuukka Taponen in second place. And there goes Igor Chukwu around the inside, side by side, and he has a better exit and shut the door on his way to turn number 2. This is done for Igor Chukwu, and this is hammer time once again for the new McLaren prodigy, who's going to try to get back up in the field. Taponen is next in second, and Martinus Tenzorn showing his potential. Fastest lap on track at the moment, 53.2. He's sitting in 5th place, chasing Valtonen by side.
So Tuukka Taponen now trying to reel back in the Bulgarian lion who leads the race. Nikola Tsolov flying the colours for his country on his helmet and doing an absolutely sensational job this weekend. Nikola Tsolov, great to see him put in some stellar performances, and certainly could be one of the best drivers ever to emerge from his country if his stock continues to rise like this. Nikola Tsolov in the lead from Taponen in second, Igor Chukwu in third, but who's going to strike first? Will it be Igor Chukwu on Taponen? No, Taponen holds the line and keeps the position. Stenshorn now starting to get after Valtonen. He's trying to chip in on the inside to come up into 4th position, and the Leclerc by Lennox team driver is trying to make his move into the hairpin. Here he goes, and Stenshorn slings shots up the inside. Nice move from Martinius.
Evan Gilter, the young Frenchman, the fastest on track, sitting in 9th position with 6 places gained, as much as Karol Pajovic in 8th. Good recovery from those young two, 53.012, the fastest Gilter. But the battle is on, as Jo Valtonen is going to have to climb back once again if he wants to win this one. With almost 5 laps completed on your picture, with Tenzorn wearing the Charles Leclerc colours, of course, on his Birelard chassis in front of Valtonen, still a couple of meters behind. So Nikola Tsolov about to conclude another lap. Let's have a look at the gaps, 0.2 of a second, pretty much nothing in front of Taponen and Igor Chukwu with the highly recognizable grey crash helmet. That has become a signature for Igor Chukwu as a tribute to the great Mario Andretti, of course. Another nice tribute, another nice gesture from those young drivers. Of course, Tsolov, Taponen, Igor Chukwu, then Martinus Tenzorn on the motorway straight, trying to get close as well to the top 3. Martinus Tenzorn, which we've seen shining not so long ago in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy, now climbing the ranks of the category as much as he can.
Yeah, I've spoken to Igor Chukwu about that helmet design before. I said it's very simple, isn't it? And he said yes. Well, the last American to win the Formula 1 World Championship was Mario Andretti in '78. I'm going to be the next one, so I'm going to prove that it's simplicity that works you up to the top. And it's great watching Igor Chukwu. He is destined. He wants to win the Formula 1 World Championship. He absolutely, a lot of Americans, they look at IndyCar, they look at NASCAR, they look at sports car racing at Sebring and Daytona. This boy has his heart completely set on Formula 1. He wants to be the next American world champion. He's hustling Taponen drifting a little bit wide. Taponen going very slowly all of a sudden. And Igor Chukwu gets through on the inside. Taponen coming back. Stenshorn's going to sweep past both of them. Stenshorn in a second. Valtonen takes on Taponen. Can't quite make it through. A big moment there for Taponen. I wonder what went wrong for the Finn.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a very bad exit outside of turn number 5 and lost all the momentum.
Oh, that's Rasmus Yutsimis. So the CRG has gone off the circuit. Here comes a big slide from Kucharczyk. What an overtake. Takes on both the Finns. Loses it slightly on the exit. Valtonen comes back at him and gets back a position. But Timo Kucharczyk, take a bow. I've never seen anyone come from that far back into turn 10 and make it stick on the inside. Awesome.
That's one of the most daring moves that we have seen so far this weekend. What a fantastic overtaking from Timotheus Kucharczyk on his way to 5th place, and maybe even more. He still has some time on his hands to try to decrease the gap on his opponents. Tsolov still the fastest on track, 1.5 seconds on Tenzorn, who has a lot to do with Igor Chukwu just on his bay. Watch out, those two are going to be battling quite hard over the next few laps. Igor Chukwu, has the pace back as we enter the later stages of this race. He's harassing his young opponent at the moment, but with pretty much no chances left to catch up with Tsolov, as he was able to pull away in the meantime.
I tell you what, if Kucharczyk had pulled that move off on both of them, that would have been the greatest overtake I'd ever seen at Genk. Absolutely superb. 2 into 1. Nobody tries it there to just slingshot it up the inside. He's on the Kubica chassis, which of course is part of the Birelard group. But Daniel Ricciardo has a chassis in that group as well, and that was very much licking the stamp and sending it for Timo Kucharczyk. Just decided enough of this. You two are squabbling. I can't wait around. I've got a race to battle for. And he just sent it completely up the inside. Now here comes Yuga Chukwu to do the same on Stenshorn. Gets the move. Nicely handled. And Yuga Chukwu now down the motorway straight in second position in front of Stenshorn, with Valtonen not far behind, and Kucharczyk stretching away from Tuukka Tarppanen. I wonder if Tarppanen's tyres have just dropped off the cliff.
Yeah, maybe he's put a lot of effort into them, and Yuga Chukwu might have felt that coming as he just made his move stick
yellow flags
perfectly.
Somebody's gone off. Is that... Who's that's gone off? I thought for a moment there that was Solov, but it's not. Thank goodness for me. I thought that was Nicolas Solov, but it isn't. I think it's Frederick Listrup who's gone, actually. So Frederick Listrup, for a moment there, the helmet design and the race suit looked very similar to Nicolas Solov. You and I both kind of went, was that Solov? Has he gone off? Unfortunately not.
It was a blue suit indeed on the corner of the picture, but rest assured, Nicolas Solov is still much ahead of the field, 1.7 seconds in front of this young man, Yuga Chukwu. Stenshorn trying to catch up as well with the Czech Republic driver. He's going to have to fight against the pressure, maybe rising from Jo Valtonen just further back, just a couple of meters further back. Jo Valtonen is going to try to catch up. Timothée Kucharczyk in 5th place in front of Tuukka Tarppanen, Martin Stenshorn, Valtonen, Kucharczyk, Tarppanen, Gilter, Karol Pazevic, Lorenzo Sartua and Rintaro Sato closing at the top 10 at the moment, with a good recovery from Eduardo Villa further back, making up 8th place up to 12.
Eduardo Villa, one of the most impressive drivers of the weekend for me. He's been right up there towards the sharp end of every one of his OK Senior heats. And this is a guy who was essentially a national domestic club regional driver last year. And he's been snapped up by the Expert Racing team. They've taken him on and they've said, you know what, there's something in this boy. And they were right. He's been incredibly strong. And the young Italian doing a fantastic job. So it's going to be a really fascinating run for the competitors as they continue to battle away. Nicolas Solov out in front, Yuga Chukwu second from Stenshorn, Valtonen, Kucharczyk, Tarppanen, Gilter, Pazevic, Sartua and Rintaro Sato, the Japanese driver, the son of the two-time Indy 500 winner Takuma Sato, has worked his way up to 10th position, so a good comeback from Sato as well.
Yes, indeed. As we're getting near the conclusion of this race, the checkered flag is about to be waved for Nicolas Solov. Yuga Chukwu, Stenshorn. On your screen is Jo Valtonen with Timothée Kucharczyk, my apologies, further back. Last lap for Solov on his way to what will be a glorious victory for him and his colours.
A fabulous move at the start of the race for Nicolas Solov. Got himself into a authoritative position, has really done a sensational job in this heat, working his magic, sliding through every apex, keeping the kart nice and planted throughout. I've been very excited about this boy for a long time. There were flashes of brilliance from him all the way back to Zuera last year in 2020 in his first appearance in the European Championships. There was something about this boy. He has a little flair of excellence underneath him. He carries the lion on the back of his helmet, and ever since then he's been called the Bulgarian Lion. And Fernando Alonso, if you are watching back home, you are having a wonderful day at the office here, because your boy is doing a sensational job in your colours. Out of the final turn, and Nicolas Solov gets the victory to finish off his preparations for the final. And Solov can be so happy with that. Brilliant job. Decisive, authoritative, and absolutely disciplined to the last. Nicolas Solov not putting a wheel wrong in that one. And that is a brilliant run for the Alonso Kart chassis, for the DPK Racing team, in the colours that triumphed in the European Championship all the way back in 1996. Excellent work for Nicolas Solov. And it's retro day here on the 16th of May 2021 at Kart in Genk. And that's a big moment for Nicolas Solov. He'll remember this one for a while now, because now in the senior category, he is a contender. So Nicolas Solov takes the victory in front of Yuga Chukwu and Martinius Stenshorn, Juho Valtonen and Timo Kucharczyk, Tuukka Tarppanen and Evan Gilter, Karol Pazevic and Laurens de Sertua, from Rintaro Sato, Eduardo Villa and Ivan Dominguez, Arthur Ospina and Arthur Rojon from Caspian Hagman and Sandro Holzem, Nicolas Lacorte and James Wharton in 18th. Then it's Florian Rousseau in front of Christian Bertucca, Nathan Sharp and Lucas Malek from Marius Christiansen and Magnus Löfqvist, Ruben Wang and Luca Inderfurth ahead of Arno Shabdar. And then the retirements, Rasmus Yutsimis did not actually retire. He did get going again, but he did have that off. And Frederick Listrup retired from the race 5 laps from the end.